Hello, my dear friends. Today I want to share with you a very personal and straightforward story from my own life, a journey that shaped much of who I am today. It's not about grand theories or complicated ideas, but about simple actions and profound discoveries. When I was just a young boy, barely 12 years old, I embarked on a rather peculiar adventure. Each and every morning, without fail, before the sun had fully risen, before I had even thought about breakfast, I would jump onto my old bicycle. I would then cycle for a full 40 minutes, navigating the streets of my hometown all the way to a very special place, the Hangzhou International Hotel. You might wonder, what was a young boy like me doing there so early every day? Was I going there for a fancy meal or perhaps seeking a job? No, it was none of that. My sole purpose, my driving motivation, was to talk to foreigners. I remember walking up to them, my heart beating a little fast, but my spirit determined. I would approach these visitors from distant lands, often feeling a mix of nervousness and excitement, and simply say, "Hello, my name is Louise Hay. Can I be your guide today?" And the most surprising part? I offered my services completely for free. Yes, you heard that right, absolutely free. I wasn't trying to earn any money. There was no financial gain for me. My family, understandably, found it quite perplexing. They couldn't quite grasp why I was dedicating so much of my precious time to this strange habit. My classmates too would often laugh at me, convinced I was simply wasting valuable hours that could be spent playing or studying. They believed my efforts were pointless, a child's silly obsession. But despite their confusion and their laughter, I persisted. This wasn't a fleeting phase that lasted for just a few days or even a few months. This was a commitment that stretched for almost 9 incredible years, come rain or shine, through scorching summers and biting winters. And as I continued, something truly remarkable began to unfold. The foreigners, unlike my family and classmates, never laughed at me. Instead, they welcomed my approach. They engaged in conversations with me. They listened patiently to my halting English, and sometimes, very kindly, they would correct my mistakes. Without ever formally enrolling in a class or paying tuition, these wonderful people became my unwitting teachers. They taught me not just words, but also about their cultures, their ideas, and their perspectives. One unforgettable day, one of these kind strangers said to me, "Your name is a little difficult for me to pronounce. Would you mind if I called you Jack?" I readily agreed, and from that moment on, the name Jack became a part of my identity, a lasting legacy of those early morning conversations. Now, let me pose a straightforward question to you. Why did I do all of this? Why would a young, energetic boy make such a long journey on his bicycle every single morning, year after year, just to chat with strangers? The answer is simple, yet profound. I grasped a fundamental truth very early in life. English is far more than just a language. It is a powerful, transformative door. At that time, at that tender age, I couldn't possibly have known what incredible vistas lay beyond that door, what opportunities it would unlock. But I instinctively understood that whatever lay there was far grander, far more expansive than the small world I inhabited. And I was absolutely determined to open that door. That, my friends, is the essential message I want to convey to you today. Learning English is not merely about accumulating words in your vocabulary or mastering complex grammatical rules. It is fundamentally about unlocking opportunities. It is about gaining the ability to see and experience a much larger, more diverse world. And the truly encouraging news is that you can begin this journey in exactly the same simple way I did. One small step, one sentence at a time. Many people dedicate years to studying English. They delve deep into grammar books, painstakingly memorize long lists of words, and read countless articles and novels. Some even manage to pass challenging exams, demonstrating their theoretical knowledge. Yet, when a foreigner approaches them and asks a simple everyday question, something as basic as, "Excuse me, where is the train station?" a strange and frustrating phenomenon occurs. Their mind goes completely blank. They know the words, they have them stored in their memory, but they simply cannot articulate them. They struggle to produce any sound. Does this scenario sound familiar to you? If it does, please understand that this isn't because you lack intelligence, nor is it because English itself is an insurmountable language. The actual problem, in its essence, is quite simple. You have diligently trained your brain, feeding it knowledge and understanding, but you have neglected to train your mouth. Let me illustrate this concept in a very easy to understand way. Imagine for a moment that you have a burning desire to learn to play the piano. You invest countless hours studying music theory, understanding chords, scales, and melodies. You watch numerous instructional videos, observing skilled pianists gracefully moving their fingers. But, crucially, you never actually sit down and touch the piano keys yourself. You never let your fingers find their way across the instrument. What do you think will happen when you finally attempt to play a piece? Your hands, despite all your theoretical knowledge, will feel stiff and clumsy. You won't intuitively know where to place your fingers, how much pressure to apply, or how to create a fluid sound. Speaking English operates on the very same principle. You might possess a vast store of words and grammatical rules inside your head, but your mouth, your physical apparatus for speech, remains unprepared and untrained. Your tongue isn't accustomed to forming the new sounds, your lips haven't learned the necessary shapes, and your breathing might not be natural for speaking English. These physical aspects of speech also require dedicated practice. And this, precisely, is where the majority of learners falter. They spend an immense amount of time reading, writing, and listening, yet they consistently fail to practice the act of speaking itself. Reading is an intellectual exercise, not a verbal one. Writing is about putting thoughts onto paper, not forming sounds. Listening is about receiving information, not producing it. Speaking, however, is an entirely different skill. It is a real-time, dynamic process. You don't have the luxury of endless time to ponder and formulate your perfect response. Someone is actively waiting for your answer. That's why it often feels so challenging, why so many people experience nervousness and anxiety when faced with the prospect of speaking English. But this also underscores why speaking is so incredibly vital. If your goal is to speak English proficiently and confidently, you absolutely must practice speaking. Not just occasionally, not just once in a while, but every single day. Even a small amount of daily practice is sufficient. The key is that you must use your mouth, because ultimately, language doesn't reside solely within your brain. It must emerge from you. It must be spoken aloud. Now, I want to address something that seems incredibly simple, yet holds immense importance, something many English teachers often fail to articulate with sufficient clarity. The most significant obstacle to speaking English well is not primarily about pronunciation. It is not fundamentally about grammar. It is not even about vocabulary. The single biggest problem, my friends, is fear. And I can speak about this fear from a place of deep understanding because I, too, experienced it profoundly. In many cultures, children are carefully taught from a very young age the importance of not making mistakes, especially in front of others. There's a common understanding that if you're unsure about something, it's often better to remain silent. This valuable lesson cultivates respect and humility, and in numerous social situations, it is indeed a positive and beneficial trait. However, when you embark on the journey of learning a new language, this very idea can become a significant barrier, holding you back from true progress. Learning a language is inherently different. It absolutely necessitates making mistakes. You must be willing to try, to open your mouth, even when you feel completely unprepared and uncertain. You simply cannot expect to stay silent and simultaneously improve your speaking ability. It just doesn't work that way. When I was a young boy in Hangzhou, engaging with tourists every morning, I made an abundance of mistakes. I often misphrased things, used incorrect grammar, and sometimes people would simply look confused, their brows furrowed in misunderstanding. I remember one particularly embarrassing moment when I tried to convey a very simple idea, but the person I was speaking to didn't understand me at all. In that precise instant, a wave of profound embarrassment washed over me. I felt a strong urge to simply give up, to retreat and never speak English again. But I didn't stop. I made a conscious, simple, yet powerful decision. I told myself, it's perfectly okay to feel embarrassed right now, but I know that later I will be better. That unwavering decision, made in a moment of vulnerability, became the fuel that helped me continue. And slowly, steadily, step by painstaking step, I began to improve. Let me introduce you to someone. I want you to visualize her clearly in your mind. Her name is Rose, and she's 26 years old. She grew up in an ordinary city, diligently studied, and excelled in her schooling. Her English skills, overall, are quite respectable. She can comfortably read complex articles, and she's perfectly capable of writing professional emails. But when it comes to the act of speaking, everything undergoes a dramatic shift. In important meetings, she invariably remains quiet, her thoughts unexpressed. When she participates in video calls with her international colleagues, her microphone is almost always switched off, a silent barrier preventing her voice from being heard. When her manager directly asks for her opinion, her heart begins to pound furiously in her chest. She knows the answer. She has the perfect idea formulated clearly in her mind. But the moment it's time to speak, she freezes. She might start a sentence, only to abruptly stop, a nervous smile flickering across her face as she apologetically murmurs, "Sorry, my English isn't very good." And then she falls silent once more. After the meeting concludes, she replays the scenario endlessly in her head. She laments to herself, "I knew the answer. I absolutely could have said it." But the opportunity has vanished. And slowly, subtly, something far more detrimental begins to take root within her. She starts to internalize a narrative, a damaging belief. She tells herself, "My English simply isn't good enough. Perhaps I'm just not naturally good at speaking. Maybe I'll speak later, when I feel more ready, more perfect." But here lies the fundamental flaw in her thinking, the critical problem. That perfect moment never truly arrives. Because if you spend all your time merely preparing, accumulating knowledge, but never actually practicing the act of speaking, you are not genuinely improving. You are merely waiting. I have encountered countless intelligent, capable individuals just like Rose. They possess keen minds, they understand a great deal, and they harbor excellent ideas. Yet they remain silent. And when you persistently choose not to speak, silence itself gradually transforms into a habit. And habits, my friends, especially deeply ingrained ones, are notoriously difficult to change. So let me tell you something profoundly simple. The level of English you possess right now, at this very moment, is enough to begin. It may not be perfect, but it is entirely sufficient. You don't require better English to start. You need to start to acquire better English. That, my friends, is the crucial distinction. Therefore, do not wait another moment. Speak with the English you currently have. That is the genesis of all progress. Let me share a few more personal anecdotes to underscore the importance of persistence. I applied to Harvard University a remarkable 10 times, and on all 10 occasions I was rejected. After completing my university studies, I applied for numerous jobs, only to face rejection after rejection, time and again. When the international fast food chain KFC first arrived in my city, many people applied for positions. I was the only one among them who was not chosen. I even attempted to join the police force, but I failed that endeavor too. Why am I recounting these stories of repeated failure? Because today, when people observe me, they perceive confidence. They see someone who can stand before vast audiences, sometimes even speaking in English, without a trace of fear. They mistakenly believe I have always been this way, but that perception is far from the truth. During those earlier times, I often felt utterly confused and disheartened. I constantly questioned myself, why do I keep failing? There were moments when I felt utterly exhausted, drained of energy and hope. There were times when I genuinely believed I wasn't good enough, that I was simply destined for mediocrity. But I never stopped, because slowly, through those myriad rejections, I began to comprehend a vital truth. Rejection is not the end of the road. Rejection is invaluable feedback. It serves as a clear indicator, showing you precisely what areas you need to improve upon. It illuminates your remaining weaknesses, and this principle applies equally to your journey of learning English. When you speak and inevitably make a mistake, it is not a failure, it is a signal. It is your mind gently, or perhaps not so gently, informing you that this particular area requires more practice. People who speak English exceptionally well are not flawless. They are not individuals who miraculously never make any mistakes. They are, quite simply, people who consistently keep speaking, keep learning, and keep trying again the very next day. So please, do not allow yourself to be paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes. Embrace them, learn profoundly from them, and then move forward, one deliberate step at a time. Here is another profoundly important concept I want you to fully grasp. Your mouth is a muscle. This isn't merely a figurative idea, it is a literal physiological reality. Your tongue, your lips, your jaw, they are all comprised of muscles, just like the muscles in your arms or your legs. And much like any muscle in your body, they become stronger, more agile, and more efficient with consistent practice. When you speak English, you are not solely engaging your brain to retrieve words and construct sentences. You are also actively moving your mouth, lips, and tongue in new, sometimes unfamiliar ways. Many English sounds are profoundly different from those in your native language. Your tongue might need to adopt a novel position, perhaps touching your teeth in a way it never has before. Your lips might need to change shape in a manner that feels awkward or strange at first. This is precisely why so many people articulate the common frustration. I understand English perfectly well, but I simply can't speak it. Understanding, while crucial, primarily resides within your brain. But speaking involves both your brain and your physical body, working in concert. You may intellectually know all the words, but your mouth has not yet been adequately trained to produce them fluidly. So what then is the concrete solution? The answer remains beautifully simple. You need to speak more. Not just listen more, not just read more, you need to actively open your mouth and produce sounds every single day. You can practice speaking even when you are completely alone. You can speak in the privacy of your room, in the shower, or while you are out walking. It is utterly irrelevant whether your attempts are perfect or not. What truly matters is the consistent act of practice. If you commit to doing a little bit every day, your mouth will gradually become accustomed to the unfamiliar English sounds. And one day, almost imperceptibly, speaking English will begin to feel significantly easier and much more natural. Allow me to introduce you to another individual whose story might resonate deeply with your own experiences. Let's call him Daniel. Daniel was 22 years old and had recently started his very first professional job. He worked in a company where some of his colleagues spoke English, and once a month they held an online meeting with a team located in a different country. These crucial meetings were always conducted entirely in English. Initially, Daniel felt confident that he would manage just fine. He could understand a good deal of the conversation, perhaps not every single word, but certainly enough to follow the general flow, maybe around 60% of what was said. However, the moment it became his turn to speak, everything changed dramatically. His mind would abruptly go blank. He knew precisely what he wanted to say, the thoughts were clear in his head, but the words simply wouldn't come out. The sentence would halt midway. He would look at the screen, keenly aware that everyone was patiently waiting for him to continue, yet no one spoke, adding to the silent pressure. The longer he remained silent, the more agonizingly difficult it became to utter a single word. So he would stammer a few disconnected words, stop, and the moment once again would pass him by. This frustrating cycle repeated itself, meeting after meeting, again and again and again. After experiencing 3 such meetings, Daniel felt an intense wave of frustration. He didn't feel unintelligent. He knew he possessed the comprehension, but he simply could not express himself effectively. Perhaps like Daniel, you have experienced this very same feeling. You understand English perfectly well when you listen or read, but when you open your mouth to speak, nothing coherent emerges. After that 3rd agonizing meeting, Daniel made a powerful yet simple decision. He resolved, I will fix this problem myself. He didn't have the financial resources for a private teacher. He didn't have the time to attend a formal class. So he chose a simple, practical strategy that he could integrate into his daily routine. Every single morning, he would take out his phone, press the record button, and speak into it for 5 consecutive minutes. He didn't meticulously prepare what he was going to say. He didn't write down any scripts. He simply spoke. Sometimes he would talk about the events of his day, sometimes about the weather, sometimes about his work, and sometimes about his personal worries or thoughts. He spoke as if he were conversing with a trusted friend, except that friend was merely his phone. In the initial days, it felt incredibly awkward and uncomfortable. When he listened back to his own recorded voice, he often disliked the sound of it. He would frequently stop in mid-sentence. He found himself recycling the same simple words repeatedly. He used filler sounds like far too often. Sometimes he couldn't even manage to finish a complete sentence. It was far from perfect, but he did not stop. He listened carefully to his recordings, not to harshly judge himself, but to genuinely understand what was occurring in his speech. He began to notice subtle patterns, where he paused, which words he consistently struggled to recall, which sentence structures proved too challenging. And the very next day he would try again, incorporating those observations into his next attempt. After approximately 3 weeks of this consistent practice, something truly began to shift. It wasn't a monumental overnight transformation, but a noticeable small change. He didn't stop as frequently. His sentences started to flow a little more smoothly, with less hesitation. He still made mistakes, of course, but critically, they were different mistakes. And this, my friends, is an incredibly important indicator. When the nature of your mistakes begins to evolve, it is a clear sign that you are genuinely improving. After 6 weeks of dedicated practice, Daniel faced another international meeting. He still felt a surge of nervousness. His heart still beat rapidly. But this time, something fundamental had changed within him. When his manager directly asked him, "Daniel, what are your thoughts on this matter?" he didn't remain silent. He took a deep breath, composed himself, and he answered. It wasn't a perfect delivery. He still paused occasionally, and he still made a few errors, but he articulated a complete idea, a clear, coherent thought, and crucially, people understood him perfectly. After the meeting, one of his colleagues sent him a simple message, "Good point today," just 3 words. But for Daniel, those 3 words meant absolutely everything. He reread that message countless times because for the very first time, he truly felt it. I can do this. What Daniel discovered is a very simple yet immensely powerful truth. If you aspire to speak better English, you absolutely need to hear yourself speak. Because when you actively listen to your own voice, you aren't merely imagining your problems or weaknesses. You confront them clearly and objectively. You hear precisely where you stop or hesitate. You identify which words you repeat excessively. You pinpoint exactly where your sentences break down or become unclear. Many individuals attempt to learn English solely in their heads. They read, they listen, they think diligently, but they don't speak. And precisely because they don't speak, they don't truly improve their speaking ability. Speaking is a physical skill, just like mastering a sport or playing a musical instrument. You cannot learn to play basketball merely by watching games. You have to step onto the court and practice shooting and dribbling. Similarly, you must practice speaking. So here is something practical you can implement immediately. Take out your phone. Speak into it for 5 minutes every single day. Do not allow yourself to worry about making mistakes. Do not strive for an elusive perfection. Just speak. After your recording, listen back to it. Not to harshly criticize yourself, but to genuinely understand your own speech patterns, your strengths, and your areas for improvement. And slowly, day by day, you will undeniably observe a change. It won't be a sudden, dramatic, overnight transformation, but a clear, steady progression. Because the ultimate goal isn't perfect English. The true goal is effective, real communication. And that begins with one simple, consistent habit. Speak and listen to yourself. Now, I want to provide you with something concrete and actionable. Something you can begin as early as tonight. Not just abstract ideas, but a truly practical step-by-step plan. And I will describe it to you honestly, including how it will likely feel, because this is the authentic process through which people genuinely learn and grow. For the first 10 days, dedicate 10 minutes every single morning to speaking English. Not just occasionally, but every single day without fail. Find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed. You don't need any special equipment or fancy tools. Just stand there and talk. Talk about the events of your day, your upcoming plans, or simply how you are feeling in that moment. For example, you might say, "I woke up at 7 this morning. I feel a little tired today, have a lot of work ahead of me, and I hope I can finish it all." That is perfectly enough. You don't need to employ grand words or complex sentences. You just need to speak. Then, at night, before you drift off to sleep, take 2 or 3 minutes to record your voice. Answer a simple question such as, "What did I accomplish today?" or "What brought me joy today?" Then, listen back to your recording. Don't succumb to shyness or embarrassment and stop midway. Listen all the way to the very end. You will clearly hear where you paused, where you struggled to find a word, or where your sentence lacked clarity. The next day you try again, incorporating those insights. The first few days will undoubtedly feel strange, awkward, and even a little uncomfortable. This is a completely normal part of the learning process. Your own voice might sound unfamiliar or even odd to your ears. You might find yourself at a loss for words, unsure of what to say next. After just a minute or so, your mind might go completely blank. You may feel a strong urge to revert to your native language, but resist that temptation. Stay with English. Even if your sentences are incredibly simple, even if you speak at a painstakingly slow pace, even if you pause frequently in the middle of your thoughts, this is precisely how your brain learns to process and produce language. Think about a young child learning their first language. They speak slowly, they make countless mistakes, but they consistently keep trying. That is precisely why they improve so rapidly. You are engaging in the very same fundamental process. From day 11 to day 20, you will introduce a powerful technique called shadowing. This involves actively listening and then immediately repeating what you hear. Choose a short video or podcast in English. Don't select anything too long. Perhaps a 3-minute segment is ideal. Listen to one sentence, pause the recording, then repeat that sentence aloud yourself. Your goal is to try and copy not just the words, but the precise sound, the intonation, the rhythm of the original speaker. For instance, when a speaker says, "I want to go home," pay close attention to how quickly or slowly they speak and where they place the emphasis on certain words. Then, endeavor to replicate it in exactly the same way. At first, you might feel a little bit silly or self-conscious doing this. That is entirely normal. Almost everyone experiences that feeling. But after just a few days, it will become significantly easier and more natural. Shadowing is an exceptionally powerful technique because it simultaneously trains both your ear and your mouth. Many English learners understand the language intellectually, but struggle to speak it. Why? Because they primarily engage only their brain, not their mouth. Shadowing directly addresses and corrects this imbalance. It helps you to feel the language, to absorb its rhythm and musicality, not just to understand its individual components. It's akin to learning a song. You don't merely read the lyrics on a page, you sing it aloud, allowing the melody and rhythm to become part of you. Practice shadowing for approximately 20 minutes every day, and importantly, continue with your daily recording habit from the first 10 days. For the final 10 days of this transformative 30-day plan, you need to take the most courageous step: speak with another person. This is often the most challenging aspect for most people, but it is also, without a doubt, the most crucial part of the entire process. You do not need a native speaker. You do not need someone whose English is perfect. You simply need another individual who is also learning just like you. You can find a practice partner online through various platforms, join a local English conversation group, or simply arrange to speak with a friend who is also trying to improve. Engage in English conversation for 15 to 20 minutes every single day. Do not over-prepare. Do not strive for absolute perfection in your speech. Just talk. Ask simple questions like, "What did you do today?" or "What do you enjoy doing on weekends?" You will make mistakes. That is completely normal and expected. Sometimes you will find yourselves laughing, which is a wonderful sign because it indicates you are relaxed and enjoying the process. In real-life scenarios, this is precisely how people truly improve their language skills, not by isolating themselves and studying alone, but by actively using the language in communicative contexts. Consider individuals who relocate to another country where English is spoken. Initially, they struggle immensely, But after a few months, their speaking ability improves dramatically. Why? Because they are compelled to use the language every single day in genuine interactions. By following this plan, you are intentionally creating a similar, immersive situation for yourself. After these 30 days, something profound will have shifted within you. Speaking English will no longer feel as daunting or difficult as it once did. You may still make mistakes, but you will not be paralyzed by fear. Your sentences will come to you more rapidly. Your mind will not freeze as often. The entire process will begin to feel much more natural, more comfortable. It won't necessarily be perfect, but it will feel familiar and manageable. And that feeling of comfort is incredibly important, because when something feels familiar and less intimidating, you are far more likely to continue doing it. And when you continue consistently, you inevitably improve. After these 30 days, you might reflect and ask, why exactly does this method work so effectively? The answer, once again, is quite simple. Because you are not merely learning English intellectually inside your head. You are actively using it with your mouth, your ears, and integrating it into your daily life. In the initial 10 days, you systematically train yourself to think directly in English. You break the habit of translating everything in your mind. You begin to speak spontaneously, even if only with very simple words. In the subsequent 10 days, you meticulously train your ears and refine your pronunciation. You learn to internalize the authentic rhythm and sounds of real English, not just the somewhat artificial textbook English, but the natural flow of spoken communication. And in the final 10 days, you take the crucial step of using English with real people in genuine interactions. This is arguably the most important step of all, because language is not primarily designed for solitary study. It is fundamentally designed for communication. Now, I invite you to reflect on your own experiences. Perhaps you comprehend English quite well when you watch videos or films. Perhaps you can read articles and recognize a vast number of words. But then, when someone asks you a simple question like, "What did you do today?" you hesitate. You stop. You think anxiously. You feel a surge of nervousness, and sometimes you fail to answer at all. This is a common experience for many people. It's not because they are inherently bad at English, but because they simply haven't practiced speaking enough. This comprehensive plan is specifically designed to help you rectify that problem, step by deliberate step. You don't need impeccable grammar. You don't need an enormous vocabulary. You simply need to speak a little bit more every single day. So, do not delay. You don't need to engage in extensive, time-consuming preparation. Start small. Tonight, utter one simple sentence in English. Tomorrow, say a little more. That is the true genesis of all progress. Most people who hear this message will feel a fleeting moment of motivation and then, sadly, do nothing. This is the stark reality. But if you are genuinely serious about transforming your English, you can begin right now. One day, one sentence, one step at a time. And slowly, steadily, English will become an integral, organic part of your life. Before I share these final, crucial ideas, I want you to be absolutely honest with yourself. How many times have you desperately wanted to speak English, to contribute to a conversation, but you remained silent? Not because you didn't know the words, but because an invisible wall of fear held you back. If that resonates with your experience, then this message is profoundly for you. I have shared many thoughts and insights with you today, but I want to leave you with just 3 simple yet powerful ideas. Not 10, not 20, just 3. Because 3 is a number you can easily remember and, more importantly, actively use. The first idea is this: Silence is the only mistake you cannot fix. If you speak and happen to make an error, it is entirely permissible. You might say something incorrectly. Someone might gently correct you, and through that interaction you learn. You try again and you improve. But if you choose to remain silent, absolutely nothing happens. You gain no new knowledge. You make no forward progress. Consider your daily life. Perhaps you are in a classroom or at work or conversing with someone online. You understand the question clearly. You know at least some of the words needed for an answer, but you choose to stay quiet. That moment might feel safe. It might shield you from potential embarrassment, but it fundamentally does not help you grow. So here is something you can do immediately after listening to this. Say one sentence in English. It can be incredibly simple. For example, you might say, "Today I'm learning English." That is more than enough to begin. The second idea revolves around the concept of fluency. Fluency, my friends, is not defined by how many words you possess in your vocabulary. It is rather about how many of those words you are willing to use. I have encountered individuals who possess an incredibly vast vocabulary, yet they are utterly unable to speak. They are perpetually waiting for that elusive moment of perfection, paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes. But I have also witnessed people with a very modest, simple English vocabulary who can communicate remarkably well. When they don't know a specific word, they creatively explain it in another way. For instance, if they forget the word umbrella, they might simply say, "the thing we use when it rains," and invariably, people understand them. This truly is real communication. In authentic everyday life, people don't demand perfect English. They need clear ideas, clearly expressed. So do not wait until you believe you know everything. Use the English you already possess right now. The third idea concerns your accent. Many people worry incessantly about how they sound when they speak English. They think, "My English isn't good enough because my accent doesn't sound like a native speaker." But this perception is simply not true. Your accent is not a problem. It is an intrinsic part of who you are, a reflection of your unique background and identity. When I speak English, I too have my own distinct accent, a blend of my native tongue and the years I've spent communicating globally. But that has never, ever prevented me from effectively sharing my ideas with the world. People listen to the substance of the message, not the subtle nuances of the accent. In real-life interactions, you will encounter people from countless different countries, all speaking English in their own diverse ways. That is perfectly normal, and it is beautiful. What truly matters is that you speak clearly and with a sense of confidence. So please, remember these three crucial points. Do not remain silent. Do not wait to achieve an impossible perfection. And do not be afraid or ashamed of your accent. And there is one more essential truth I want you to understand. You are not someone who can't speak English. You are someone who is learning to speak English. That, my friends, is a profoundly important distinction. Many people internalize the limiting belief, "I can't speak English," and as a result, they cease trying altogether. But the fundamental truth is, they simply haven't practiced enough yet. Every single time you speak, even if it's just one simple sentence, you are making progress. It might feel minuscule, almost imperceptible, but it is real, tangible advancement. Think about your daily routine. Perhaps you regularly watch English videos and comprehend a great deal of what is said. But when it becomes your turn to speak, you feel that familiar surge of nervousness and you retreat into silence. That specific moment is incredibly important. If you choose to remain silent, nothing will change. But if you make the effort to try, even with the simplest words, your brain begins the vital process of learning and adapting. That is how speaking ability grows, not just intellectually in your head, but physically, through the act of using your mouth. Most people who listen to a message like this will feel momentarily motivated and then, regrettably, do nothing. This is the simple, sometimes harsh truth. But if you genuinely desire a different outcome, you need to take a small, concrete action today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Your English will not improve in silence. It improves when you consistently use it again and again in real-world situations. Allow me to share something from my own personal journey. I began with absolutely nothing. I painstakingly built a company step by step from the ground up. Today, that company serves millions of people worldwide. I've had the privilege of speaking at major global events in numerous countries, engaging with individuals from vastly different cultures. And none of that, not a single part of it, would have been possible without English. Not because English is some magical, inherently superior language, but because it served as the indispensable tool that helped me connect with the wider world. It enabled me to absorb new ideas, forge relationships with new people, and perceive things from entirely new perspectives. In the fabric of real life, English is not just an academic subject. It is a powerful, versatile tool. It empowers you to discover better opportunities, secure more fulfilling jobs, and cultivate richer connections. Even something as seemingly simple as confidently joining an online meeting or sending a clear message to a colleague in another country becomes achievable when you possess the ability to speak. And I want to be clear, I did not learn English in a perfect, flawless way. I did not have access to the most cutting-edge methodology or the finest teachers. And I certainly did not always feel ready or confident. I learned by actively using it. Every single day I endeavored to speak. Sometimes I used the wrong words. Sometimes my grammar was far from correct. Many times I would stop abruptly in the middle of a sentence because I simply couldn't recall what to say next. But I did not give up. I persevered. And that, fundamentally, is the sole reason I improved. If you reflect on it, this is how we master virtually everything significant in life. When a child learns to speak their native language, they don't wait for perfection. They try. They make mistakes, and then they try again, relentlessly. In real-life conversations, when you engage with someone in English, you might feel a knot of nervousness in your stomach. Perhaps your mind momentarily goes blank. Perhaps you can only summon the most basic, simple words. That is perfectly acceptable. That is an inherent part of the learning process. The real problem isn't making mistakes. The real problem is stopping. So you don't need a perfectly laid out, infallible plan. You don't need a flawless, native-like accent. And you most certainly don't need to wait until you magically feel a surge of confidence. Confidence, my friends, emerges after action, not before it. If you perpetually wait for the perfect moment, you will find yourself waiting indefinitely. There is no perfect time. There is only the present moment when you consciously decide to begin. Right now, immediately after this message concludes, I want you to do something very simple. Say one sentence in English, just one. It can be about absolutely anything. For example, today I am practicing English. Or perhaps, I feel a little nervous right now, but I will try. Say it out loud, with conviction, not just silently in your head. When you vocalize your thoughts aloud, your brain and your mouth begin to work in harmonious concert. That precisely is how genuine learning happens. And then tomorrow, do it again. Maybe you'll manage 2 sentences, or perhaps you'll speak for a full minute. It does not need to be perfect. It just needs to happen. This is how your unique journey begins, not with some monumental, complicated endeavor, but with something small, something manageable, that you consistently repeat every single day. Some days will feel effortless. You will possess more energy, more ideas, and you will speak with greater ease. But some days will undeniably feel difficult. You will feel tired. You will struggle to find words. You may even feel a powerful urge to give up. That too is completely normal. Everyone experiences those moments. What truly matters is that you continue. Even uttering just 1 sentence on a challenging day still constitutes progress. Over time, something truly fascinating unfolds. 1 sentence today gradually blossoms into 2 sentences tomorrow. Then you begin to seamlessly connect your ideas. One day you will realize you can speak for a full minute, then 2 minutes. Then you can comfortably engage in a short conversation, and slowly, without you even consciously noticing, English will become an intrinsic, natural part of your daily life. You won't need to overthink anymore. It will simply feel natural. This is precisely why consistency is infinitely more important than the pursuit of perfection. Perfection often paralyzes you. Consistency, no matter how small the steps, propels you forward. Even if your steps are tiny, if you take them consistently, day after day, you will eventually journey a remarkable distance. So let go of the worry about being perfect. Instead, focus on showing up. Focus on speaking, even just a little. That truly is enough. Thank you for listening so attentively. I sincerely hope this message remains with you, not just today, but throughout tomorrow and all the days that follow. Now it is your turn. Open your mouth, say your very first sentence in English, and keep going. Goodbye for now. Remember, your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills and open up even more opportunities, I encourage you to click on the next video or explore the additional video that we have thoughtfully selected just for you.